Welcome, friends and fiends, to the Cryptique Podcast. I'm your host, Kenny, and today I'm here with my co-hosts, Godden and Devin, and together we're here to watch and review every horrific, often hilarious episode of the legendary HBO anthology series, Tales from the Crypt. And here we are. Like I said, we have our special guest today, Devin. Devin recorded the ventriloquist dummy a few weeks ago with us. And Godden, how are you, Godden?
Doing well. Good morning so far. How are you guys?
How are we?
Right.
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah. Solid.
Coffee's kicking in?
Sure. Let's go with that.
I've always been an early riser. You're kind of an early riser.
Yeah. Unless I put myself in a situation where I don't. Like staying up really late.
I've always been an early riser, so I don't mind the early morning recordings. Godden, are you a night owl or a morning person?
Oh yeah, I've been a night owl like all my life, but I don't mind waking up in the morning either, as long as there's something to do.
Well, we have something to do. We have an episode to talk about.
We have something great. We have something great to do.
Yep.
We're here today to talk about Season 2, Episode 14, Lower Berth. This premiered on July 3rd, 1990, and it comes to us from the actual comic Tales from the Crypt. And I like these ones when they're actually from Tales from the Crypt. Although I have been looking forward to having another one from the Vault of Horror. Remember, we had Fitting Punishment came from the Vault of Horror. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
And you know what? This is something that we're going to try that's relatively new. Comment down below to let us know what you think about this. But usually we just go right into the episode and talk about it. Yeah, but Godden, though, took it upon himself to kind of do a little bit of a deep dive, just the smallest of deep dives into other things that happened or other movies or stuff that came out during this week. So, Godden, let us know what would be on our minds if we were watching this live.
During the release of this episode, that same week, Die Hard 2 was released, alongside with Total Recall, Back to the Future Part 3, Ghost, and Pretty Women. So it's a pretty stacked week, honestly. You might have missed this episode and watched these movies instead.
That's a banger of a week.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That is a banger of a
It's
week.
very stacked.
Die Hard?
2, yep.
Oh, Die Hard 2, the second one. Okay. That was
Die 2,
okay.
yeah,
That
Die
was
2.
okay.
Filmed locally.
Oh, that's right. That was filmed in the Sonoma County Airport.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
For some reason.
Right where we're from. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's fun.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And Back to the Future, and what was some other ones?
Total Recall, Pretty Woman, you said Back to the Future, Ghost, and...
Ghost.
Wow.
Oh, that was
Ghost
it.
and
That was
Pretty
more.
Woman. Those two love stories came out about the same time. Total Recall's, that's one of my favorites right there.
2 weeks.
I love Total Recall. How long will you be staying on Mars? 2 weeks. So all those things would have been on our minds, right? We would have been seeing trailers for those. Maybe even some people might have gone to watch it in theaters.
Yeah.
And then along comes July 3rd, 1990. And then we would be sitting around the couch watching this episode. So we are going to go into this episode. But before we do, I have to give this disclaimer every single week. You guys, we are not experts. We just are regular Joe Schmoes sitting around watching this show and then just kind of using this platform to express our opinions, what we felt about the episode, what we liked, what we didn't like. We're going to get some things wrong. We're going to miss some things. If we do, leave it in the comments below. Let us know what you think and let us know what we got wrong or what we said that you liked. Either way, we want to build a community around this, and we actually want to express our opinions with other people doing the same thing. So feel free to comment down below. And spoiler warning, we're going to go into great details on this episode. And this episode actually has a pretty significant twist to the franchise as a whole. So if you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend you go watch this episode before coming back to hear us go on about it. All right. With that out of the way, let me come over here to read the text from the ancient scrolls, inked in blood, bound in human flesh, on the back of the DVD box set. Lower Berth, lullaby and good fright, with this revealing story of the Crypt Keeper's birth. It's a tale from the crib. This did just flat out give it away, didn't it?
Wait, I didn't expect them to just flat out give it. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, on my version of the story, I did try to leave it a little more obscure, but they went for it though.
They went for it.
Okay, here's my description. Carnival sideshow attraction Enoch, the two-faced man, falls in love with the new attraction, a 4,000-year-old mummy named Myrna. Enoch's obsession spirals into murder, leading him to flee with his beloved remains. A year later, they're discovered hiding in a cave. Now, the horrifying yet familiar child of their own. Dun, dun, dun.
Nice.
Yeah. So I tried to leave it a little more obscure, but the ancient scrolls just went for it. So yeah, this child is the Crypt Keeper. That's the twists. Everybody, sorry to spoil it, but well, before we dive in and start talking about the episode, just overall thoughts. Devin, let's start with you. Overall thoughts of the episode without giving too much away.
I think there was a lot going on, and I would say you could have made this a two-parter and fleshed it out a bit more.
That'd be interesting.
And it would have been way more impactful. At least that's my opinion. Just because it was like, okay, there's stuff going on here that's pretty solid, but it's like a little more. Want a little bit more story, a little bit more,
I see what you mean. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you think maybe the half-hour time constraint may be a little too short for this episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have stretched it out to a two-parter.
Oh, interesting.
For sure.
Oh, interesting. That's a good idea, actually. There's never been a to be continued on Tales from the Crypt.
And that would have been huge.
Yeah, especially for a significant story like this that's explaining the backstory. Maybe a two-parter would have been, fitting for this. Godden, what are your thoughts?
I agree with the two-parter, but I also feel like this was like a little bit more fabricated. Like I feel like his origin story is a little bit more grotesque, maybe, and then they just decided to go with this one. And it's like, yeah, let's just at the end, let's just say he was born through this.
Yeah,
instead of like having like a more elaborate, like I don't think he was like I don't know. The Tales from the Crypt, because I think originally how I understand is like he becomes old and decrepit, and somehow he becomes like a Crypt Keeper. He wasn't like born being a Crypt Keeper. He like slowly becomes that because he was like a human at one point. Because he had mentioned that like he was human at one point. So
I'm
you're
thinking,
sure.
thinking maybe this
He
isn't.
just changed it up.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe this isn't canon, even though it is. Like you don't want it to be canon.
I feel like there's a different story that really showcases history than him being that episode.
Yeah.
There's more to it. I feel
I
like.
can see that.
I can relate to that because it is a little. I guess I will say it's a little underwhelming. It does feel like they kind of maybe tacked that on at the end, like, oh, and by the way, the baby was the Crypt Keeper, like kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I can see that. I guess for how important this story is to the lore, it is an underwhelming episode. It is a little boring on the more boring side. We'll get into more details as we get there, but I did think of it as a little more boring. Maybe if they expanded on a few of the characters, it would have been more interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go through with this. So the Crypt Keeper intro, he's rocking a crib. Crypt Keeper's rocking a crib, and there's a little like a stuffed animal baby, not stuffed animal, but like a stuffed baby inside, and he's kind of saying, "Oh, there, isn't he just so cute? You wanna?" And he raises the hammer, and that's when he sees us. We just kind of arrived, and he goes, "Oops." Tonight's sickening saga should be subtitled "Tale from the Crib." And he grabs his book out and he slams it on top of the crib, like smashing the baby inside. It's all about the humble beginnings of my favorite horror hero. So call the babysitter and break out the barf bags as I narrate a nauseating novella with a very special place in my heart. I affectionately call this one Lower Berth. And other than the fact of the word birth being in the title, I don't know why they would call this episode Lower Berth.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a thing of like, hey, you're kind of seen as deformed, so is it like a knock, maybe? Which is kind of messed up when you think about it. That's a guess. I have no idea.
I looked up what birth is, BERTH, and it's a fixed bed in like a train or a ship or something like that.
Well, that's got to be one definition, because there's also the phrase, hey, give that a wide berth.
Oh, right.
Like, stay the heck away from that.
Oh, interesting. I like that. I like that more, because the way I was thinking of it was Enoch's bed is the cage. And that's where he kind of sleeps. He has like a fixed bed there. But I like where you're going with that, because you're right. There might be another definition about like stay away from something because they'll give it a birth, right?
Yeah. Dictionaries exist, but that's time.
I Googled it.
Yeah. You're right.
I Googled it while we were watching the episode.
Oh, nice.
We are not experts, ladies and gentlemen. If you have an idea of what you think the title might mean, do us a favor, leave it in the comments. So the opening panel is it's shot from inside Enoch's cage and is looking out, and Enoch is completely in darkness. The light's coming from outside, and you see outside the cage, you see a couple of men, talking together while one of them's pointing to, even behind them is the mummy. So there's Myrna. So we got Enoch, we got the person who, I guess, owner of Enoch and his business associate who owns the mummy behind them. So we have all three of them right there in shot. And then I noticed that beside Myrna there's a poster, and there's a hanging man. And obviously that signifies that there's death in this episode, right? The mummy's dead, and spoiler alert, there's some death in this episode as well. But also, don't forget our good friend, oh gosh, what is his name? From the cat episode. Ulrich the Undying. Don't forget, he died from a hanging. Remember that?
Oh, you think it's a nod?
I think it's a nod to that, because this is a Carnival episode, and the only other Carnival episode we've had is the Dig That Cat, He's Real Gone.
It's true. Yeah.
Have you seen that episode?
No.
It's the one where he takes the 9 lives from the cat.
Oh,
and he becomes a circus sideshow where he gets killed, but then he can come back to life because he has 9 lives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it has an amazing twist, by the way.
Well, there's only 9 lives. So
there's not
where this is going.
But there's only 8 lives because he had to kill the cat to take the thing. So that's what his ninth or his final death.
Getting greedy.
Right. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Any other thoughts about the panel before I move down?
I see that they keep the theme going of like foreground, middle ground, background.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting because I will say the quote unquote owner of Enoch looks so much more distinguished and well put together than he does in the show.
That's a good point.
He almost looks like Hemingway or something. Like, yes, I have all my stuff together. Everything's great. It's like, no, you don't, dude.
He's dressed like in a nice collared shirt. He has a nice jacket on. He has a beard, but it's well trimmed, and he just looks very thoughtful.
He looks like he's about to go hunt a whale.
He looks very thoughtful. And then in the actual episode, he's just like a disheveled.
He's pretty messed
up. Drunk of a man. And the man to the right, the one who owns Myrna, he in the episode was dressed in all black.
Yeah,
he was in a black suit and top hat, and this one he's dressed in like a almost like a light blue.
Maybe it's like like how they do Batman as blue sometimes, even though it's supposed to be like color scheme vibe. I think. Yeah. Or maybe it's like they had to have the contrast because he's already wearing black, so they're like, well, that we need it to pop. So somebody's like, blue. Okay,
blue. Let's do a blue. Yeah. When in doubt, blue. Damn it, I already used black to color this guy. What am I supposed to do with that guy?
Well, this is embarrassing. One of us has to change.
Well, scene 1 of the episode, we're in the carnival, and we have the carnival announcer person there. His name is Mr. Feely. He says, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, step right up and feast your disbelieving eyes on the most astounding array of freaks and oddities gathered under one tent. See the hideous products of God's twisted sense of humor. And he goes down this list of all the things we're getting ready to see. There's Fanny, the fat lady. There's the Littles, a family so small they fit into a shoebox. And finally, there's the star attraction, the amazing Enoch. A display so bizarre you have to see it to believe it. And while he's giving the speech, of course, the crowd's gathering. But in the crowd, there is a man. A mysterious man who's not really reacting to anything, but he's all dressed in black and he's got a black top hat on. So this man obviously he's the one who's gonna, anyway, just remember there's this man going on. So at this point, they kind of go through and they look at all the different sideshow people. And I gotta tell you, Enoch really is the star of the show because everybody else, like the fat lady is just like, by today's standards, he's fat.
How is that ever an attraction idea in the first place ever? It's like morbidly obese. Woohoo!
I think fat people were just so much more rare back then. It's sad to say, but gluttony and just the overproduction of these highly processed food, it just makes being fat so easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, a modern American.
She was fat, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to pay extra to see someone like that. I can just go to a Walmart and see someone like that, for crying out loud.
You should see my Annie.
Anyway, I don't mean to fat shame people. I'm sorry, okay? But it's just, Annie the fat lady, I'm not having it. You're not fat enough for me, okay?
I think it's just the idea is messed up. You know? It's like, dude.
Although, you know what, though? Maybe not a circus sideshow, but there's a lot of money made from fat people nowadays. Because think about, like, My 600-Pound Life or 1,000-Pound Sisters, or like these shows that are,
I guess. I mean,
I think it's the closest thing. It's like what it isn't, right? It's the closest thing we have to carnival shows with fat ladies are these reality shows.
Oh, they get canceled so quick, dude.
Yeah.
There would be riots.
That is the new circus sideshow, is these ridiculous...
Yeah. Jerry Springer, that's...
Oh my gosh.
Is that even around anymore?
Yeah.
Jerry Springer... I don't know if Jerry Springer's around anymore.
Well, not Jerry Springer, but like that...
No, that show ended. There's a whole documentary about it. I enjoyed watching it.
Like, but I mean that vibe of show. Like, is there anything?
There has to be.
Because like Dr. Phil was the new one, and now he's gone.
Oh, right.
Like, which I'm not complaining. That's probably a very good thing. It's like all these shows aren't popular anymore. That's because everyone's going to therapy. It's like,
Well, yeah, but the idea of looking at a train wreck of a person or family or a group of people, like that reality TV show really is like the new carnival sideshow.
Yeah.
So I guess we still are paying to see people like that.
Yeah,
there's the Learning Channel, I guess. That's basically what that's turned into.
Right, TLC turned into that. Oh, and then there's the tinies, the family so small they fit into a shoebox. I was disappointed. They would not fit into a shoebox.
Whose shoebox?
Oh, that's a good point.
This is my elephant's shoebox. As you can see, they fit just fine.
Oh my gosh. And finally, there's a star attraction, Enoch. They get to that. But before we get to that, though, we do see a glimpse of Enoch from behind the tent. And he's kind of peering out to the people who are gathered there to see him. And Sickles, the owner of Enoch, finds Enoch outside of his cage. So I think it's a belt. It could be a whip, though. But he starts hitting Enoch. And he grabs him and he drags him and he throws him into the cage. He locks the cage and then he storms out just in time for Mr. Feely, the carnival host, to open up the curtain and reveal Enoch, the two-faced man. And I thought the effects on Enoch looked amazing.
It was pretty solid.
It looked really, really good.
Yeah.
And it like articulated in a similar way to how Enoch, like if Enoch would grimace or smile, his other face would, or if he opened his eyes or closed his eyes, the other face would kind of mirror what he was doing. Great job with this. I thought he looked amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, very Sloth from Goonies-esque.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That'd be. Yeah. That fits. I can't unsee it now.
You can see it now. Now I can't unsee it.
Yeah, I can't.
Baby Ruth. Anyway.
So the next scene, we're out in Sickles' trailer, and Mr. Feely is out there with him, and they're in a heated argument. Basically, Mr. Feely says, "Look, your act keeps getting out of its cage. It keeps delaying my show. If this keeps up, you're done. I'm gonna basically get rid of you and Enoch." And Sickles kind of at this point stands up for himself and says, "You know what? No, Enoch is your star attraction. Without me, you'd have nothing." Which I think he has a good point.
Yeah,
because the fat lady and the tinies, they didn't get much of a reaction, but when he showed Enoch, the crowd, of course, loved it. So I think the crowd really is showing up for Enoch. But unfortunately, Mr. Feely discovered Enoch is going to die soon. I guess he had like a medical visit where the doctor said that Enoch wasn't going to live for much longer. So having that as leverage, Mr. Feely, basically says, "Look, you got to get your act together or you're out of here."
Literally.
Right. At that point, Mr. Feely leaves, and Sickles leaves his trailer and goes to Enoch. And you don't see it, but you hear it. He says, "You've been a naughty boy, Enoch," and you hear more whipping. So either a whip or his belt again, and he's beating Enoch. While this is going on, though, that man in black that we saw steps out from behind the trailer, and very mysterious, like it's very, very dark scene, by the way. And so you just see the silhouette of this man in black. He lights a cigarette, so you have this like misty smoke around. It's a very well lit, nicely done shot. I really like this mysterious man in black in the back, and then he disappears behind the trailer again. And while we were watching this together, you noticed the lighting in this.
Yeah, the lighting was solid, very kind of almost noir-esque, like where it's all like half shaded and it's just like
Oh,
It's kind of cool, actually. I was impressed with and it wasn't just like, oh, happened to get it in a shot once. It's like, this was purposefully lit and shot this way to give it that effect, which is like also a really good, like just comic look where you kind of get that shaded sort of like, almost like black and white comic kind of vibe.
Yeah. When you mentioned that, I also noticed that a lot of the faces were half shrouded in shadow. Yeah. So it's not just Enoch, the two-faced man or Enoch, the two-faced man. Juxtaposed with that, you see a lot of these two-faced people. Yeah. Where they're kind of like their intentions aren't quite, you don't know their intentions. Yeah. Right? They're kind of up to something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that. That's nice. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. No, yeah. Thinking about, they did do that, huh? Yeah. I didn't catch it the first time.
That's pretty cool.
All right. So after Mr. Sickles is done punishing Enoch, he comes back to his trailer. And this is where we get the reveal of the man in black, and a shot that I thought was extraordinary. Sickles comes back and he goes to light, was it a cigarette or a candle or something? He lights a match, and as the match is flaring, the light shines upon the man in black and he emerges out of the darkness in probably the best shot in the entire episode. This is going to be my shriek of the week. I've decided. My shriek of the week is the reveal of this man in black. I thought it was an extraordinary shot. It looked fantastic the way he came out of the darkness. It looked really good. So this man in black is Dr. Zachary Kling, and he overheard their altercation between Mr. Feely and Sickles. And basically he says, I'm your salvation. So Dr. Kling has acquired a mummy. And he says, basically, you could put the mummy in your show, and I want a 60-40 split. Basically, I get 60%, you get 40%. Mr. Sickles, of course, realizes, oh, something's up with this. What's going on? He goes, basically, I'm a man of history, basically, and I don't want to be associated with this mummy. So I want you to basically be the agent of this mummy, and I'll kind of sit in the back and just kind of collect my money. So something's very strange going on with this man.
Yeah, he mentioned something about like, hey, I make a lot of questionable deals and I make a lot of enemies. So you deal with this.
Yeah.
But I want money.
and his story is he won the mummy in a card game. He was playing a card game. He won the mummy. And the mummy, by the way, is Myrna, which he calls Myrna. And she was a slave girl who refused the advances of a pharaoh and so was sentenced to be buried alive. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
And Myrna is also wearing these jewels, and of course the fancy jewels catches Mr. Sickles' attention. He says, "What about those jewels?" Dr. Kling says, "Oh, they're completely worthless, a mere prop." Mm-hmm. So, anyway, with that, Myrna joins the carnival, and there's a short montage of Myrna being showed over and over again, and just bringing in a lot of money. So definitely, a lot of people are enjoying coming to the carnival, to the sideshow, to see Myrna as well as Enoch. So Myrna is also positioned kind of close to Enoch. So every time the curtain opens to look at Myrna, Enoch can see her. And through the time, you can see that Enoch starts to fall in love with her.
Yeah.
He thinks she's beautiful. And every time the curtain opens, he just kind of stares and, lovingly at her. So he's starting to develop feelings for this mummy that's across from.
It's a good vibe. It kind of gives that very kind of Frankenstein kind of like, hey, I'm really not that bad. I'm just trying to exist and chill, and I just want to have a good time and not be in a cage. Please, get me out.
I'm glad you brought up the Frankenstein. There's a scene coming up that I think was beautifully done.
Yeah,
that was very similar to Frankenstein. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
I don't know. The more I thought about it, Myrna was supposed to be a slave girl, and when I first watched, I'm like, she was probably younger, and and the pharaoh was trying to make advances. But then maybe started to think as well, like, do we know what Enoch's age is? Like, do we have like a guesstimate? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because we don't know how old they are, but there's also that like weird kind of dark side of it. Like, hey, they could be both middle age.
I didn't think about that. They do mention her age. I think she's 17. What they said. It was a young slave girl, 17, and then for some reason that number sticks out to me.
Okay.
Enoch, I don't know how old Enoch would be. It never really mentions it.
I mean, imagining you are a being in that condition, you're probably not going to live very long.
Right. So he might be a teenager.
Yeah. So he's got to be
like under 20. Easily.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it was 20, that'd be crazy. So, I mean, could be, but I'd say no more than in the early 20s.
Yeah.
And even then, it's probably more like teenager.
I'm no doctor. But I would imagine somebody of that condition probably wouldn't have much of a long of a lifespan.
So you got 17 years. Okay, bye. Do you want a sticker? Here you go.
We're not professionals, folks.
No.
Leave a comment. Leave a comment if we're getting something wrong here.
Yeah.
So the next scene is the scene I was talking about.
Yeah.
So we're at Enoch's cage, and this little girl gets her way backstage, and she's basically approaches Enoch, and she's not scared of Enoch. She's looking at him. She's curious about him. And Enoch kind of, he starts off kind of huddled and hiding his face, and then he kind of warms up to her, and you see him kind of, his stature just gets a lot larger. He gets a lot more comfortable with her there. And he asks her, and the little girl's holding a doll, by the way, a little stuffed doll. And he motions to the girl to open up the curtain. Goes back, she opens up the curtain, and there is Myrna. So he appreciates being able to see Myrna, right? And then the girl comes back and actually gives him the doll. So he takes the doll and kind of caresses it and holds it. And then at this moment, the mom comes and says, basically, come over here. And the girl leaves. As the girl leaves, in comes Sickles, and basically just starts insulting Enoch. He sees Enoch holding the doll and looking at Myrna. And Sickles says, "Oh, it's a family you want." And that's sick, pathetic. And he actually laughs at Enoch. And while this is going on, he looks down and notices a newspaper on on the floor of Enoch's cage. And the front headline is, "Priceless Egyptian mummy stolen." So at this point, Sickles kind of realizes what's going on. And then, he leaves to go confront Dr. Kling. But I wanted to linger on this moment a little bit longer, because this really was a beautiful moment in the episode where some humanity was shown to Enoch. And I did get Frankenstein vibes.
Yeah.
He is seen as a monster by everybody else. He's hideous. He's grotesque. And he's just a circus sideshow. But in reality, he's, a very, very sad man who doesn't have anything. He's kept in a cage, and he's beaten, and he can't, this is his life.
Yeah.
And the one person who comes to show him some humanity and to not be scared of him, I thought was a really touching moment to have in this episode.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How fun it would be if she like just started berating him at the end. Like the little girl's like, "Ew, never mind, gross."
Wait, can you imagine?
What are you into? I like Coldplay. Get out of here! Like, I don't care if you're deformed, but you need better taste in music.
Oh my gosh.
Not knocking Coldplay for anyone that's just a band that popped
Hey, do you want to see my Pokemon collection?
Yeah. You use water poke? Get out of here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not playing with you anymore.
All right. So this next scene is, this is where Dr. Sickles goes and confronts Dr. Kling. Dr. Kling, of course, is in the middle of a card game, right? He's a big card player. And he slams the newspaper down in front of Dr. Kling, who reads the headline about the mummy. And they get up and they go to an empty tent to talk. And this is a bit forward of Sickles, but he grabs these giant shears, go into the tent to talk to him. So I don't know if he was planning on only using this to threaten him, or if he really wanted to go through with doing something, but clearly he's upset about being hoodwinked with this whole situation.
Yeah.
So basically, Dr. Kling admits to stealing the mummy, but he also admits that the mummy's cursed. The necklace that's around the mummy that is the original necklace, but they're cursed, and whoever takes the jewels will be unable to procreate. And he tells a story about his associate, right? Took the necklace and then later was found castrated.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Sickles doesn't buy it. Sickles says, "Oh, that's a ridiculous story. I'm going to go get myself those jewels." And one funny line. Sickles says, "So wait a minute. Whoever takes the family jewels loses theirs. I thought that was a funny line.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that might be my Shriek of the Week line. Oh, I don't know what to do.
No,
that face
you can't
reveal was
change
good.
it. You
Yeah.
already had the first one. You can't change it.
Okay.
I'll take that Shriek of the Week from you.
All right. So Godden gets that Shriek of the Week. That's a good line right there. Whoever takes the family jewels will be unable to procreate. No, he says whoever steals the family jewels loses theirs. So once he says that line, he goes to take the jewels, but of course Dr. Kling grabs him almost to save him. Like, no, don't do it. Grabs him and pulls him back. And when he turns around, he gets stabbed. And it's filmed in a way to make it seem like it's an accident.
That's a forceful accident.
That's right.
I'm so sorry. It was an accident. I didn't mean to.
Right. Poke him. I can get it. I get it. Right.
Yeah,
Poke
right.
him, right. Maybe nick him or something.
Yeah,
like
that would
but
make sense.
To plunge it into his stomach.
It's like 12 feet in your stomach.
Coming out the other side
Yeah,
through his
it's like-
spine.
These shears are only 2 feet, so how did that happen?
What's your hand doing in my stomach?
Yeah, right.
Oops.
Oh my god.
Sir, please remove your head. Anyway.
Wait, that actually reminds me of in Violent Nature. I think the first kill, he sticks his whole fist in the girl's
That's right.
torso.
That's right.
That's
That was
out of
good.
using
That
that. Yeah.
So wait a minute. Maybe that was an accidental death. Oops.
Maybe he was an
I was just trying to do yoga with you, lady.
Yeah,
Sorry. Have you seen Into Violent Nature?
No.
Oh, it's good.
Not yet.
Oh, you gotta
there's a
watch
lot
that.
I think
I've
you'd like
missed.
it.
That's one you got to watch.
Okay, I'll
That's
check
a
it
good
out.
one. That's a good one. It's a horror movie slasher, basically Friday the 13th.
Okay.
But from the killer's perspective the whole time.
Oh, so it's like, what was it, Daryl and Tucker versus Evil, but not funny?
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, but they weren't the villains.
It's a different
no.
spin. It's a different spin on
Yeah.
it. But it is from the actual killer's
That's
perspective.
cool.
Yeah, it's
I like
really,
that.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah. So he dies. Dr. Kling dies with the shears, and then so the next scene is actually Sickles goes back to Enoch he opens up Enoch's cage and he puts the bloody shears in Enoch's cage and basically says, "Oh no, you got out again. You've been very naughty." Poor Dr. Kling. So he's actually trying to frame this poor Enoch character for this murder. And while he's there, of course, he goes to Myrna, opens up the curtain, and takes Myrna's jewels. And Enoch is very upset about this. Don't you take things from the love of my life, Enoch.
Mhm.
And he goes over with those shears, and he plunges them into his groin area and castrates him. So is this a real curse or is this just a coincidence?
That's a great question. I did like the sequence of it though, because it was kind of like they did a shot of grabbing the jewels and then a shot of Enoch with the shears getting closer, and it kind of like kept cutting, and then it was like, and then cutting.
And then it went from cutting to cutting.
I gotta say, it is a little bit more of like, again, I mean, obviously you can't do too much on TV, so whatever, but it was more of a stab than anything else.
Oh, that is absolutely something that I wanted to bring up in this episode.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you.
it wasn't like a full-on, very clear.
So just so you know, this was HBO back in the early 90s, and they can almost do anything they want. So the fact that the death scenes in this episode were so tame was a disappointment. I wanted more. I did want more grotesqueness.
Well, and again, I mean, I would imagine back then the rules were probably like, you can show all the blood and guts you want, no sexual nothing. That is not okay. You cannot show any kind of even resembling any type of genitalia, so that's not going to go. So just stab him in the stomach. We'll call it good.
That's not entirely true. We've had some pretty. There are some sex scenes in these previous episodes where either 12-minute orgasms or very erotic close-ups. Yeah, so that's not entirely true.
Yeah,
okay, good. I'm very inexperienced with the series. So
you've got some Tales from the Crypt to watch, my friend.
Well, in that case, they should have just gone for it.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's exactly what my thinking was right there.
That's
they should have gone
lame.
for it. They should have showed more. The death scenes in this, both death scenes in this were very, very lackluster. Yeah, we've got some Tales from the Crypt for you.
Yeah, I gotta catch up. I am very
sex, nudity, they go
sex
there.
and violence.
Right? Violence and gore and grotesqueness, they go there. The Tales from the Crypt goes there.
Nice.
So when they decide
They
not
do.
to, it's almost like a conscious decision to not go there. And I think they should have more fun with it.
Yeah.
It's a tease.
Yeah.
They're a tease for doing that.
Like that Friday the 13th movie. What was that? Which one? Where they like censored everything?
Oh my gosh, which one didn't they? Oh gosh, there's so
No,
many.
but there was like the first few where it was hardcore. And
Yeah.
there was the one where they're like, we're just going to cut all the
Yeah,
death scenes.
see, starting with like number,
Was that one the one with what's his name?
I think
The
starting
kid?
with number 5, they really started to
That's what it
tone
was.
down a lot of the deaths. And
Boo.
yeah. And quite frankly, Friday the 13th got it the worst. I think they got it the worst because the first couple got away with so much.
Yeah, they were pretty.
The first few
extreme.
Friday the 13th got away with so much, and the MPAA was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
people are watching these?
What did you do to that guy in the wheelchair? With what?
Yeah.
People are watching these. Yeah, they forgot. They forgot it was for the audience. That was just a personal project for themselves.
What about the kids? They want to see the bloods and the gutses.
Yeah. Oh, and
True.
one thing I did want to say about that last scene where Enoch kills Sickles is before he does say naughty. He calls
right.
he calls Sickles naughty. I like that little
Naughty.
naughty. Yeah. So the next day, Mr. Feely is doing his rounds with the Carnival sideshows, and he says basically when he gets to Enoch, they open up the curtain and nothing's there. He looks like a fool on stage, but he quickly closes the curtain. He says, "Anyway, moving on. Let's go to our next exhibit, Myrna." And they open up Myrna's curtain, and they find Sickles' bloody corpse in the place of Myrna. So Enoch and Myrna have vanished, and all there is a dead and bloody corpse of Sickles. That's it, right? Then we cut to a year later. A year later, the carnival's back in town, and the police arrive, and they come. I like when they come up on Mr. Feely. By the way, he's kind of having a drink.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah.
kind of having a drink, and when the police arrive, they go, "Hello, Mr. Feely." He goes, "Yes," and he slyly sneaks his flask
Yeah.
into his bag, kind of hide it from him. And I wonder, like, because you had mentioned that this might be in the Prohibition era.
Well, yeah, that's the interesting thing is like it's kind of a period piece episode, and it's also very unspoken about when specifically, but you're imagining like probably 1800s something in Midwest.
Yeah, I
You know?
got the 1800s
but
vibes.
like,
Godden, did you have a thought of when this took place?
Now you mentioned 1800s. I'm like circling back in my head. Like, was there anything that stand out that would have been more modern? Because what were I don't know. Because I mean, it could be in the 1800s, I guess. But I was thinking more closer to the 1900s, realistically, with the way they were dressing.
oh yeah,
That's- I was-
sorry,
that's the vibe I was getting.
yeah, but like kind of a very like Wizard of
Just
Oz
early America.
kind of vibe, you know, like that kind of era,
Okay, like the 20s.
something like that. Yeah, like
When was the Prohibition?
20s
20s, right?
20s.
So
or
Or like earlier than that, yeah.
earlier. That's right, because yeah.
I didn't get the vibe that he was hiding it because alcohol was illegal. I got the vibe that he was hiding it because he's drinking on the job. Like, that's kind of the,
Yeah.
you know,
Like he felt
owns the
guilty. He's like,
business.
oh,
What's there to worry
I don't
about?
know. Or maybe he has some shady dealings in the past, and he just, the less contraband he has on him,
Oh,
for
I
the
guess that
police,
makes
the better.
sense.
Like he's
Yeah.
like, I got the idea of like, okay, he's kind of shifty near the police. Like
Yeah.
he's kind of, maybe he does have a little bit of two-facedness going on, right?
he could just be an alcoholic and he's just like shameful of it.
Yeah.
That's, like, one thing I-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Point too, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor, now, suddenly now he's pulling on my heartstrings, poor guy. Anyway, so the police come up to Mr. Feely. They say, you know, some kids have been kind of exploring in some caves, and they came across something which we think belongs to you. Come see it. So the police take him to the cave, and in this cave, it looks like a cave that's kind of been made into kind of a makeshift home. And
Mhm.
they find on a cutting board just a bunch of onions.
Yeah, just raw onions and
Just raw
potatoes.
onions. So I'm thinking, you know, Enoch, you know, made a little home for himself where he's just eating whatever he finds around. He just happened to find some onions.
Yeah.
Anyway, around the corner in the cave, they come across Enoch and Myrna in bed together. And this scene confused me. I don't know if they found the two sleeping together or is Enoch dead? I don't get it.
I
Is
think,
Enoch dead?
I think
yeah.
Oh, if you want Devin, I was just gonna say I think
Oh,
they
okay.
died. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my assumption, was that they were dead because the whole Enoch being dead. I think the thing that always drove me crazy about this is like, this is where I would have loved another scene of like Enoch and the mummy having like an actual, like, because then there's this whole thing of like, did the mummy actually back to life? Because obviously there's a babe, and then it's like, what the, it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
anyway.
part's not explained very well.
Yeah.
It would have been nice, I think, if they were to do a 2-part episode, maybe have a Myrna backstory.
Yeah.
And then this Enoch
like
story.
And then get the end. Yeah.
That would have been nice. Yeah.
Or maybe she was mummified, preserved so well that everything else is intact.
Well, what's weird is they do have this scene though where like she wakes up for a second.
That's right.
But that's it. That's all we get.
Her eyes did open when Enoch killed Sickles. I forgot about that part. Yeah.
Yeah. But
okay.
I wanted.
That'd be an Egyptian curse thing. I don't know. But yeah.
Or maybe her savior, whoever does the deed of the castration.
Yeah.
Gets
you are my honor guard.
Right. Gets the love of Myrna. Maybe that's the case. I don't know.
Yeah. That's
interesting. Yeah. Well, yeah, you could do a deep dive on this and dive into it more. And I think an episode like this does deserve that because of the amount of lore this episode delivers to the franchise.
Yeah.
Because after they discover Myrna and Enoch lying together, either dead or just sleeping, I don't know. The camera pans over and you see a baby, just kind of sitting there holding that doll that was given to Enoch. And then we cut to...
Well, it's not just a regular baby, though. Missing a nose.
Oh, right. The baby's missing a nose. I think it meant the baby he's holding.
Well...
Yeah, the baby's missing a nose like the Crypt Keeper. So then we cut back to the Crypt Keeper who's crying and actually having tears drip onto the table. So another great practical effect from the Crypt Keeper animatronics. He says, "Oh, sorry, kiddies, but that story just makes me go all to pieces. I was so cute. I was a cute little terror tyke, though, wasn't I? As for Enoch and Myrna, I guess you figured out by now where I get my good looks. Old Two-Face was my daddy, and the mummy was my mommy."
Oh, boy.
That's a good trick of the week, too. Oh, man. Oh, if they'd only lived long enough to see me become a star. We never even got a chance to play hide and go shriek together. And that's the end of the episode. So, yeah, like this is a episode deep with lore, especially in the last, 45 seconds.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that's one gripe that I did have with the episode, with how important of an episode this is to the lore of Tales from the Crypt. It's not a bad episode. I just think it's kind of boring, and each of the scenes are maybe a minute too long. A lot of this could be trimmed, or we could have some characters bring a little more levity to it. We had some interesting characters, but nobody like funny or silly. You know what I mean? Like once I watch the episode once and I get the point, I'm not excited about watching it again.
Yeah, again, I agree. It's like it needs some editing and some additional scenes. Because there's definitely scenes that could be trimmed and like streamlined so we could, it's not like full on clunky, but at the same time it's like, you could edit it a little bit. And
no, it's not a bad episode.
No,
I like it. It's just it's not.
It could be better.
It's not a fun episode.
Yeah, I mean it's an okay episode. I don't like it as an origin story for him because the way I see the Crypt Keeper is like he's really old. Like he's been around like longer than that time period was for him being born. So for him to have like a carnival like parents and that's how he's born. Like I felt like he's like there's something more to it. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't feel like that's his origin story. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that. It goes way back. I feel like it goes like more sinister. I feel like there's more like voodoo probably, but just him having carnival freak parents and he's born. It really is so underwhelming. Like that's it.
Yeah. I can see that. I almost agree with it. Unfortunately, I can't because it's this canon now. But yeah, it would have been. It's a little underwhelming.
Oh yeah, no, you could do a whole like. Because again, the vibe is he loves evil. Evil is his thing. So why wouldn't you be human and then be like, hey, I'm going to make this pact with like some dark powers and like,
Yeah.
I'm a lich, woohoo, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that, yeah, that'd be way more compelling of just like, no, I'm born evil all the way and this is my thing and I'm having fun. So of course I'd make these deals. And of course I'd be immortal. And of course it would have this, by the way, you're going to rot anyway, but you're still alive. So, you know, yeah, no, that'd be way more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you guys. It's a little underwhelming with the origin story, but that's the origin story, so that's the one we got. So,
Yeah.
As far as the episode being similar to other episodes, like I mentioned already, Dig That Cat, He's Real Gone. That was a circus sideshow themed episode, and this one's circus. So I think this is the only other episode that has kind of a circus theme to it. So it's similar in that way. As far as like the cursed mummy and cursed relics angle of it, I can't help but relate it to one of my favorite cursed mummy movies, Bubba Hotep. You've seen Bubba Hotep
many times.
That's definitely if you're a Bruce Campbell fan, you've definitely seen Bubba Hotep. Godden, have you seen Bubba Hotep?
No, I'm looking it up though. This is something I should definitely watch. This looks very interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of a slow burner. Would you describe it that way?
Yeah, it's definitely more dramatic.
Yeah, it doesn't knock you out of the park with the jokes, but they're pretty solid when they show up. It's just like,
Yeah. The premise is Elvis never died. He switched his character to avoid the fame, and then that character died. So Elvis is still alive. He's in an old folks' home with, get this, President Kennedy, who didn't die. So President Kennedy and Elvis Presley versus a mummy that's sucking the souls out of an old folks' retirement home.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Definitely a fun concept movie. A lot of fun. I liked it. It's a fun spin on a mummy concept. So I always like that as a mummy story. One of my favorites. And then in terms of like having a macabre origin story for a horror character, this is Freddy Krueger to me. Freddy Krueger, and I forget which movie it was, but they revealed that he's actually the son of 100 maniacs. So his mother was assaulted, I don't know how to say it on YouTube, by 100 different maniacs. And that's who is Freddy Krueger's father. So anyway.
I'm not going to make that joke. Anyway,
don't make that joke.
No, moving on.
So can you think of any other horror characters or horror icons that kind of got late into their life relatively a origin story?
Well, I mean, didn't they do some stuff with Texas Chainsaw?
Oh,
like they didn't.
I think they did. You got to see him as a boy.
Oh yeah, was that? I never saw.
I never watched that
like
one
an
either.
Original.
Oh,
like I watched the first one and the second one's hilarious. By the way,
oh
my god,
I love Texas Chainsaw
Dude,
Massacre too.
It's so good. Anyway,
Halloween by Rob Zombie. That one was with young Mike Myers.
Oh, that
right.
was
So
an
the
interesting take
the
on
remake of Halloween, you got to see the backstory of Michael Myers. Yeah.
Sorry, Michael Myers. Yeah, not Mike Myers, not the actor.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because I mean, even like Hellraiser, like it's in the second one that you get the kind of vague origin of
Pinhead. That's right.
Which is a cool idea, but it's also like, I don't know. I mean,
not a lot. Huh.
Yeah, because everything else would pretty much get thrown right away. Like, Jason's like right off the bat.
Right off the bat, you get Jason's origin story.
So
Chucky as well. Yeah.
Chucky as well. You get his origin story right away.
There's like 10 minutes. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think of other things that were similar to this episode. I'm going to give this episode a 3.99 because it's just 4 is like a great episode, right? This is because it's so important to the lore of the show. I would like to give it a 4, but it's just a relatively boring episode. It's a good episode, but it's a little more on the boring side for Tales from the Crypt. So I just can't give it a 4. I'm going to go with 3.99. 3.99 castrations.
Oh my god.
There's still a dangly bit left.
There's still a little bit of hate. You didn't quite get it all.
Oh my god.
Oh my
What about you,
goodness.
Devin?
Hmm?
What would
What
you
about
rate
you?
it?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably around there because honestly, it's just like again, there was so much potential,
Mm.
and it just seemed like I mean, I'd almost love to see a behind the scenes of this episode just to see like if there was any like conflicts going on, like some kind of like, hey, I'm gonna go do this grand thing, and someone's like, whoa, we don't have time for that. Why don't you just make it like this? And we're like, whatever, just because I don't know. I mean, it seems like they came at it with a really good idea, and then it just some of it feels a little maybe not tacked on, but I don't know. Like, you know what I mean, though?
Yeah, maybe it doesn't feel like a homogenous piece or like a
Like it's not like anything's missing necessarily, but at the same time, it's just I don't know. Things could have been expanded upon a little bit more, I guess.
They definitely had time to expand upon it. 'Cause
Yeah.
some of the scenes could have been
Yeah,
a good minute
Yeah,
shorter or
for
so.
sure.
Yeah, okay. So what would you give it?
Out of what?
5.
Oh, out of 5? Yeah, I'd say it's like 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it in the books. Devin scored 3.5.
Yeah,
Put you down here.
it's middle of the road.
And Godden, you're up next.
Yeah, I actually agree with Devin. I also would give it 3.5 because, it is a simple story, but because it is important to like the Tales from the Crypt lore, just bump it up just a tiny bit. It's just so underwhelming. I can't see myself giving it more than even a 3.5. I'm like being really nice with 3.5.
Yeah.
But 3.5 jewels. That's all I'll give it.
3.5 jewels. Okay. Family jewels?
Family jewels.
Oh, and Devin, what? 3.5 what?
Oh.
from the
Cheers.
show.
Cheers.
Of the episode. Cheers.
Yeah, that was such a missed opportunity.
From the
Why'd they
crowd.
call him Sickle? They could have called him Shears.
Cheers.
Maybe that was too on the nose.
Sickle, right? Sickle, because Sickles is if someone was attacked with a sickle, that would have been really ironic.
That would have been really funny.
If they used a sickle
That is
instead
funny, yeah.
on him.
I'm Mr. Sharp Object. How you doing?
Hello, I'm Mr. Shot in the Head. Oh my goodness! All right,
Giveaways and how they die.
so that would be interesting. A horror movie where everybody's
That's a
named
good
after
way, yeah.
whatever
I'm
kills them.
Mr. Dead in 3 Scenes. How you doing?
Yes. I'm Mr. Decapitated. I'm Mr. Head Squished until my eyes come out.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Just check it out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to move into horror-respondents. We got a message from Joseph Hill. And Joseph Hill writes us regarding the episode, Judy, You're Not Yourself. And he tells us, he has a gripe about the episode. He says, once they killed the old hag the first time, why would they leave the necklace on her dead body? If they had put both necklaces in the safe, then there would never have been another switch. Yeah, you're right, Joseph. Like, because remember, they kill what's her face, the old hag, and then they bury her in the basement. But they leave the necklace on her, and then eventually, when the wife Judy gets compelled to put the necklace back on, that then allows for the switch to happen back. Yeah, the fact that they left it on there, that's a gaping hole in the story. They could have done something with that. Remember that episode?
I do remember that episode. And yeah, I mean, maybe it's just like a panic state where you just buried it. But yeah, just getting rid of the necklace too, just would have just avoided all that.
Right. Or
But
maybe
then we
they
don't
just,
have a twist.
yeah, maybe they wouldn't have a twist. But also maybe they just don't know how the magic works. Right? They're laymen.
That's
right?
fair.
They're laymen.
Yeah.
They know what's going on.
Well, upper class layman. He saw their house and he lived at a country club that went shooting. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was an episode where the male character, the husband, was like a gun enthusiast. He had guns all over the house, and the wife was like a
Awesome.
well-to-do, like posh lady who,
Well, then, yeah, of course, they don't even do their own work. Why would they, they just pay people to do it. Of course, they wouldn't think of anything like that.
that's true. That's a good point.
All right, and finally, I want to end with shout-outs. So don't forget Creeps of the Crypt and Crypt Keepers podcast. I still have both their links in the description below. They do Tales from the Crypt podcast. So if you like people just kind of running their mouths about this show, then check out their podcast. They do a good job too. Don't forget about Haddonfield Radio. I have finished all the episodes of Haddonfield Radio. I'm done with Haddonfield Radio. Now I actually have to wait every single month for them to release the next episode. They do basically commentaries of the entire movies of entire franchises. So the Halloweens, the Nightmare on Elm Streets, the Friday the 13th, And finally, this isn't horror related, but I just, I have to teach her Amma. Go check that out. A good friend of mine, John, his girlfriend is a co-host on the show, and they watch and review all the Futurama episodes. And if you want to stay up to date what we're doing, you need to go watch the next episode 15, Mute Witness to Murder. I don't know about you, but I just like the title of that.
Yeah. There's a lot.
I don't remember this episode. So I might remember it as we get into it, but I don't remember the title of the episode. So I'm looking forward to getting to this one. If you want to watch along with us and follow along, watch that episode before next week, and we'll be here to talk about it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Take care out there. Any final words, Devin?
I don't know. I'll see if I see you guys next time.
Any final words, Godden?
I hope to see Devin next time.
Yeah, we'll see.
Definitely nice having more guests on here. Okay, so we will see you all next week. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye then.
Well, how was that for a scream, boys and ghouls?
Is the sound of my voice on TV. Anyway.
And Godden, what do you think about that?
I like his Godzilla shirt.
Thanks.
That's what I think of it.